So my patrons have voted, and today's tutorial is all about data-driven styling using GeoLayers 3. And in this video, I'm going to be focusing on using vector point data. If you'd like to see the same technique with raster data, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll focus on that topic a little bit later. Alright, I'm inside of Adobe After Effects 2025. I'm going to go to Window Extensions and open up GeoLayers 3. If you're new to GeoLayers and you don't know what it is, just follow the link down in the video description, which is an affiliate link, and you can learn more about it. It's a premium extension to make maps in Adobe After Effects. Okay, so to create a new Mapcomp, I'm just going to click on this button here, and this is all fine. I'm going to click Next, and I'll just choose the Bing aerial satellite Mapcomp imagery and click Create. This is going to get my Mapcomp set up, and I will just finalize this. Now, let's say we want to add some cities here, and we want to, just add a little bit of a context layer, give it a little bit more detail. To do this, we can head over to a website called naturalearthdata.com. They have a vector point data set called Populated Places. So I will link to this down in the video description if you want to follow along and do this tutorial step by step, which I suggest you do. So go ahead and download the top one here, and you might need to just compress this into a zip file, which then should work perfectly inside of GeoLayers here. You can probably just drag and drop it, but I'm going to click on this Add Features to Browser, little plus icon right here, and do Import File. And now I can just grab this zip file, because this is actually a shape layer with a bunch of different files in here. So if you're on a PC, it might download already and show up as a zip file. So as I click on this, you'll see this is indeed a bunch of populated places. So now let's say I want to draw these out. To do that, I need to select a layer style right up here. Now there are already some default template layer styles. We have these fills for polygons, these line options here. You can see the tooltips will tell you what types these are. And here we have some point options. I'm just going to grab this white one over here, and after you select the layer style, be cognizant of what these checkboxes are doing, because that is very important here. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this as is. Since we're drawing out point data, it's really just one individual point, and I want them to be all in one layer, so I'll just make sure that individual layers is deselected. I don't want them inside a Mapcomp, and as of right now, I don't need the stroke to automatically adjust the width. That could be something that I need to do. So now with this selected, I will go ahead and click Draw Feature right here, and it gives us this warning. Now this dataset actually has over 7,000 features, so it needs to draw that many vertices, which is going to take a little while and slow down After Effects quite a lot. It says it right here. Do you want to proceed? I'm going to go ahead and click Cancel. So this is one of the main problems you're going to run into with GeoLayers. When you draw out shape layers or vector layers, it's very intensive on the system. The more vertices you draw out, the slower After Effects will be. So that's why I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I want to show you a raster method to do this as well, which is really, really handy. It has its own drawbacks, but I will focus on that in a future tutorial. So if you want to check that out, be sure to subscribe. But as of right now, I'm just going to focus on a smaller area. So let me show you a little trick that I'm going to do here. So let's say we just want to focus on Jamaica. So I can come down here and just, line up Jamaica. And what I want to do now is just grab these points on Jamaica. So how do we do that? Well, we need to do a little search for a polygon here, a map feature for Jamaica from Natural Earth. Click on Add to Browser. And now if I grab the feature collection and shift click Jamaica, it gives me this option down here, points inside polygons. So if I click on that, I have a couple of different options, but if you click at the top, points inside polygons, it's going to do this operation that basically isolates these and gives you this Jamaica data set that has the polygon and the points. And if you zoom out, you'll notice now, though, these points are just the Jamaica points. So I'm going to bring these up, and actually I'm going to rename this. We got a lot here. So I'm going to click this one again, and if you click on feature properties, you can actually rename it. So I'm going to rename this just so I know that this is Populated Places. Not sure why it doesn't come in with an actual name, so click Apply. So, and then we can rename this as well. I will just call this Jamaica Cities. Okay, so now we have this little set here. I can double click to frame it up. Let's maybe zoom out a little bit. So now I can draw these out, right? So I have my point layer. Now if I go to draw it out, it's only going to draw these out, so it should draw out relatively quickly. All right, there we go. I've got the cities. I'm going to turn the opacity of the background down so we can see them a little bit better. Now they're actually looking a little boring because they're all the same exact size. I want to create points that are proportional in size to the population of each city. And we can do that using our data-driven styles. So if you come back up here to Layer Styles, you can click on this Add Style button. And this allows you to see the parameters of a style. You can name your new style and adjust both the fill and stroke parameters. And then over on the right here, you'll notice a little cogwheel. This is where you can click and add a data-driven style. So here I can basically select a property that's going to control the width, and then I can specify the value range. Now the problem is I don't know what the name of this particular property is. What is the name of our population data? So to find that out, we actually need to go in to our data set and look at the data, do a little data exploration. So if I just grab one of these features in our feature collection, so these are map features and this is a feature collection. So I'm going to click on one individual city, and if you click down here, you can look at the feature properties. And this is going to show you all of the data fields inside of your feature properties. And you'll notice that there are a number of different fields for population. Now if I go back out and I grab the actual feature collection and then select feature properties, it's going to show me the ranges of each individual property, and it's going to show us the minimum to maximum. And this is really great. This is going to allow us to do a data-driven style very easily. And to do it, we can actually do it straight from this panel. If you look over here to the right, for each range, we have a little button. It's a little pin with a spinning cogwheel, and the tooltip says create data-driven style. So I happen to know that if you look at Natural Earth Data's website, it tells you to use Pop Max to size your labels. So that's what we'll be using. So go down to Pop Max, where is it? Population Max. And then you can click on Data Driven Style, and it's going to give you this panel here, so you can select any of these parameters to change the styling of. Now we want to do the stroke or point width. Click on this, and now it brings us right in here and automatically fills these now. So if I came and just tried to manually add a new layer style, we would have had to have done this manually. So it's much better to look at the feature properties of the feature collection to get this done. Now you also have this little drop down here, linear and circle area. It should default to circle area. So this is like the interpolation method of how it will draw these out. Circle area is going to give you a circle by area. Linear will do the diameter. Now if you're a proper data scientist and you know how to do different data classification methods, you can add additional values to your range and manually adjust the ranges, but I'm going to stick this to like a linear or a what's probably a continuous classification method here. And it shows us the minimum and the maximum of our population max, and over here is the pixels of our particular points. So let's say I want to go from like a pixel width of 3 for this population, and I want to go all the way up to something like 70. Now that's all I really need to change. I'm going to click apply and apply again, and now you'll notice that we have this on our layer style here. So this is showing us the preview of our new layer style that we've created. And check this out, this is really cool. Down here on the right in our browser, we see a preview of all of these. So it's showing us how these will draw out, and it's even showing us the width of these particular points. So now let's see how the magic happens. I have the feature collection selected. I'm going to turn off our first shape layer, and now I'm going to draw out this feature using our bright, shiny new data-driven style. Okay, there we go. So now you can see we have some different sizes here. Let's bring this down even more. So there we go. Now we have our data-driven style and our regular one. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like the video and follow us. If you want to become a master of GeoLayers, check out my GeoLayers 3 masterclass. And if you really want to nerd out on map animations, check out my Patreon page. I will see you in the next one.